Hey creators, today I'm going to show you a little bit of an advanced tutorial on my typewriter effect. I was getting a lot of questions before with problems with multiple lines of text with this effect, and I'm going to fix that for you in this tutorial. And I'm also going to release the comps for both the single line and the multiple line, and so you'll be able to download those from my website at digitalvectorstudios.com, and it's Davinci Resolve Typewriter Effect.html. I'll have the link for that in the description of this video. You'll be able to go right on the site and download the compositions. So the way this works is you download the file, and it's basically just a text file. You'll open up a new composition, stretch it out a little bit, just go out to 10-20 seconds. So after you set up a composition, you want to copy the entire file, Control C, and then you're going to open up the Fusion page in Resolve and paste it right into the flow area. And you'll just need to connect the scan lines, which is the last node out, to the media out, and then that composition will then be seen into your edit page, your cut page, wherever you want to do it. So let's get into the changes that I made and this composition itself. You can see I have both of these compositions loaded into my flow area. Okay, I'm going to start with the single line of this composition. So I have my text. I'll put this over on the left side here. And it's just going to say Davinci Resolve Typing Effect. That's what we did before in the tutorial. This other node is the blinking cursor that only appears at the very end. And to make adjustments on this cursor here, just click on the node itself. And we want to make sure that we have the inspector open in the upper right. And you're going to see this global in, global out, and you can see I have it set to start at 63. As we get to the end here, as my animation completes, you can see I'm on about 53, 54. So I'm going to make an adjustment to that to start it on about 55. So we get that blinking effect right after that. And if you want to find out how I did that cursor, just go to my other video. The link is in the description. I've added a couple of things on here. So I took out the background. So when you port this out to the media out, you can just see right now it's just a black background, and I'll generate another background here. Stretch that out to the length of that composition. And I'm going to select a different color now, more of a gray color. So you can see whatever I put underneath my composition here is going to show through, because this is a transparent. Before, when I showed in the tutorial, I had a black background, and so people were having an issue with that. So I just took that out, and you can just select whatever background you want right here in the edit page. Okay, let's go back to the Fusion page. Okay, so we go into a merge, and then I added this soft glow. And so you can add in whatever type of glow that you want, and you can really make this bloom out. You can do less blending, more blending. So this is really a big bloom here. We can add a lot of gain. And so if we have a lighter background, that might be something that you want to add. And then I kept the scan lines in there, and you can adjust the frequency and the sharpness, etc. right here in this panel right here. Okay, so that's the single line. I made some notes here just so you guys can remember those things without going back to this video. And so as you remember too, let's go back to one more thing, the text. To get to the filer, we have to go to the modifiers tab up here. And depending on which item that we want to change, so to get to those keyframes, we can just select keyframes up here. And I have this set on show only selected tools. That way there's not a big mess on there. You have to open up this text, and you can see the keyframes that we made there. So if you want to make any adjustments to those keyframes, you can do it there. You shouldn't need to do that, but I just wanted to show you that. So as we get back in here, one of the big things in the modifiers, if we go back to this setting here, this goes from left to right, all characters between first and last character, and this is your delay here. So if you want to slow this down, you're going to just add on to this delay. So say we want to go to 60 seconds. That's going to extend out how long this takes. So it's going to go through a little bit slower. So we need to move over. You can see we're really not even done typing until about 65. So my cursor started a little bit earlier in that case, and I just wanted to point that out. So if we go to the cursor now, we're going to need to change this out to about 65 with that 60 delay. Okay, so I can make that as long as I want. Go back to text here. Modifiers, let's change this out to 100. and it's just going to go a lot slower. So we're not going to get done to our effect until frame 100, which is what we set. So we would need to change our blinking cursor then to 100 if we want to do it that way. So I just wanted to point those things out. So hopefully that makes some sense. When you're changing these things, it looks right for your animation. So let's change that to 101. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to multi-line. So what people were having an issue with, and this is legit, so if you have the Davinci Resolve typing effect, and then we want to do second line in here, what happens is Resolve's kind of got a glitch with this modifier. So what it'll do is this block that we added, it's shading element 3. We have that black shadow in there. And so we modified that as our follower to kind of look like you can see it here in the background. So we have this typing effect of that cursor as it types. And so it kind of glitches and it shows that immediately. And then when you're done typing, it'll stay on there. So the way I did it, I just kind of skirted around that. And so now you have 2 lines. And so creating 2 lines actually created a different challenge. I'll tell you about that here. So now we have the 2 lines. And you can see if we look at them, they're both typing at the same time, which is not cool. Yeah, so I added a delay node in there. It's actually a time speed node. And so what I did is I'm delaying at 53 here. So whatever we set for this line to be finished, and we'd find that again. So let's go to text 1, and we're going to go to the modifiers, open up that follower there. And so I have a delay of 50 there. So it's getting done with our first line in 50 frames. And like I said, if you want to adjust the timing, just do it here. And so that's taking 50. And then I want to start my second line slightly after that. So set your delay right here to just after that. I set it for 53. So remember, as you change the timing of that first line, you'll need to change this delay in the second line. And so this second line of text, I'm using the same timing. I'm using 50, and I could probably adjust that a little bit. So let me show you on the right side, the final comp here. You probably want to do, this is slightly longer, the second line than the first. So I might want to do a little bit longer delay. So I might want to go up to like a 55 there, just to make it more consistent in how long that takes. But we can cheat and use that delay so it won't start until after it hits 55, and it'll start that second line. So what you're going to see, it's going to go through, and then it's going to jump down the second line just because we put that delay in there. So that's a simple fix. If you want to add more lines, just add more lines. You'll have to do the merge and everything else. And then you just want to add another delay. So after the second line, you'd put another delay, and then it would go down to the third line. You could put a whole paragraph of this if you wanted to. You just have to keep adding lines on there. No big deal. So just wanted to point that out. That should be pretty straightforward. And then when everything's merged together at the end, that's when you add in your blinking cursor, because you want it to show up at the very end. And also you want to add scan lines. You don't have to add these. I added the scan lines or soft glow. You can add any effects you want on the end there. There's some other good things. We can do the edge detect, which would be kind of cool. So you could just make it like an outline of the text. Yeah, so I wanted to get these compositions out to you guys. Hopefully these are helpful for the people that are having problems with multi-line. I agree that's a legit problem that Resolve has. And so that workaround will get you to be able to put 2 lines in without doing a lot of different animation. These compositions, if you have any questions on them, post them in this comment for this video, and I'll get these answered to kind of separate those. Like I said, there's a lot more detail in my previous video, my Typewriter Effect video that's out there. So please watch that one as well if you just are finding this one as the first video. Otherwise, thanks again for watching the second video if you've seen the first one, and thanks for watching my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so, and take care out there, guys.